This is dedicated to my father, the late great Ernest Lee Davis.
Yeah, I would like to welcome you to We Are Something Else. I am your special guest for the night, Shawn Xavien. You will have a good time. It's the finale. Yeah. On my last day, will they even really notice? What will they say? Did I gave them everything in my own way? Or that my focus turned maybe to a mainstay? I fed the city that I love from my own plate. Leftovers heated up that I never ate. A couple deals fell apart on a handshake. When the vision got bigger than the namesake. Yeah, I never tried to be another great. My stimulation led the visions of a darker fate. I'm still that light-skinned nigga with my own take. I got my own crown, try to emulate. Soundtrack for the real, let's deliberate. I got a little time to kill in my mental state. I'm meant to be, if anything, just a little late. So here's another for your keepsakes. X. Let's go, guys. It's your boy Shawn Xavien. VA raised.
One.
Miss you, Pops. We're gonna switch it up real quick, though. Yeah. Yeah. My daddy told me, be what you want to be. Your word is your bond just to set you free. That's enemies. I myself and me's. You can open the door, don't forget your keys. Stay true to yourself, you can do it ease. It's cold when you're lonely, but don't you ever freeze. Stay blessed in yourself if they ever sneeze. Be one in your thoughts, aim not one to please. But it's probably time that I grow up. A couple more years, the Reaper might pull up and catch me on 2K while niggas play crude up. I hope he don't sway me, cause yeah, I'm gonna throw up. These lines I mean, get the drama mean. Since 005, my opening scene. Another, no other, like what I mean. So true to myself, it was all a dream. Yeah. Shawn Xavien. Be great. Yeah.
All right. Welcome to We Are Something Else.
What up, what up?
Episode 80, another time. And we want to give a shout out to our special guest tonight, Shawn Xavien.
What's happening, what's happening?
Yo, what a way to bring us in, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, man, I had to dust off the chops, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. that rush of feeling was real. I was like, all right, let's go. But hey,
look, you got through it, man. The lighting was good, and sound was, at least to me, the sound was good.
Cool.
And there's more of that coming tonight. Shawn is joining us for episode 80, fellas. Like, look, it feels like we were just at 70. 60. I mean, this has been
I'm
the
gonna
time.
crazy about this though is like being episode 80, right? Like I was born in 80, so this was like perfect timing. So, so like, oh, it worked.
And like this tonight's gonna be a concert series. We second edition of our concert series. We did one a while back with MrMarcusYoung.com. He blessed us, and tonight Shawn is in here tonight, and he's gonna be promoting and performing stuff from his new project, XIX. We'll get into that in a little bit. For that, fellas, what's up? Superfly.
Yo, what's good, man? Are we coming up on a 3-year anniversary or something? 2-year anniversary? So we started around this time. It's 3 years. Wow.
Yeah, I think in February. I got to look at the date, but
yeah,
it's in February.
When you started naming the numbers of the shows, I was like, wait a minute, we're coming up on our anniversary soon. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'm here. I'm making it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make the best of things. And we talked about it last week. We put out that mix. Got a lot of crazy feedback, and that's been super energizing. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in for that. Like, I'm just grateful, man.
Yeah, so Georgetown Waterfront did come out. We were talking about that.
Yep.
Where can we find that at?
It is on Mixcloud. We're distributing it through Charged with Sedition, that Stereo Face mix series. So this first edition is going through that. Check the link in my bio on IG. I posted on Facebook and Twitter. So as long as you search Georgetown Waterfront, you should be able to find it.
Dope. E, what's good?
Man, I listen, man. I just logged off from work, bro. So, I'm happy just to kind of use this as the wind down. You dig? It's just been a crazy week, man. Just that New Year's kind of getting back into the swing of things when folks been out for 2 weeks and now they want you to do everything and under the sun. Just trying to maintain and not flip over tables, because then I just gotta clean the shit up afterwards. So,
But I figured you were still busy. I didn't get that text message with an appropriate graphic for.
What? The thing is if you look at the schedule you sent, I didn't see it on there, so that's why I didn't send it.
I mean, that's always whatever. Well, if you got one, we'll do it. Just let me know. CB, what's good, man?
Hey, looking forward to tonight. Tonight should be fun. But we've just had, it's another week, another set of wild things going on in the sports world and in the regular world in general. So it's crazy.
Right, and when we're like a week, not even a week, we're getting closer to. I saw the moving truck and the boxes online on social media today, so they have arrived at the White House.
Their pics are making their way around the socials.
I was saying that I think his stuff will get packed up and out, but I think he's staying. He's not going anywhere. Right? You're right. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's wrap. So, first story up is Presidential Medal of Freedom or Honor?
Freedom.
Yeah. Prestigious award that's given out by the president. Normally, is it annually or is it towards the end of their term when they normally do it?
I don't know.
It's like anytime during their term. Yeah, I think it's like anytime they can award these things.
So, story came out that Bill Belichick had been nominated and was going to receive the award from his friend Donald Trump, and they've been friends for ages. And the stories that I read was it was quiet for a while. No one knew what Bill was going to do. Everyone just assumed that he was going to, maybe take it, but just get it, mailed to him, or whatever. He wouldn't do it in person. But came out that he denied or turned down receiving the award, which I think, and he said because of stuff that happened at the Capitol prior, a week ago, it wasn't something he could do. And I think that we have to. I mean, I thought that's a big move. we see Bill Belichick as the coach more so most of the time than we see as the person. I mean, every time we see him, this guy, he's got like a cutoff hoodie or whatever, and he's winning a Super Bowl or whatever he is. You don't get to see the man outside of that. And I think that it took guts or, just balls for real, just to turn down that big award. And it may happen to be that Biden will end up still offering it to him because he turned it down. But I think that was a big move. Let's go around. What do you guys feel about that?
I'll be devil's advocate and I'll say it's bullshit.
I'm with
Okay.
E.
The reason, I mean, I put it to you like this. I had a conversation with my bro about it. Regardless of not if he accepted it or not, we know that that's his homeboy, right? We know that he rocks with him. He funded, you know what I'm saying, his path to get into the White House. Look at the events, or look at the story more so around it. Kraft had to start kind of leaning towards more of the black people to help him out, because guess what? He was leaning with Meat Mill all of a sudden, and police reform. Because if you look at how your political movement is, that don't line up with what your players that play for you rock with. When you got more black players than you do white players on the team that clearly everybody, the Patriots, come on now, we can go deeper into this, right? But it is what it is. Say this though, even if he accepted it, I don't think we would still be having this conversation as if, oh, well, he accepted it, because that's just him identifying that his friend wanted to give him something of honor, regardless of if he did not rock with him or not. I think it's more of a move as far as coaching, as far as, the team is considered. You take that, Cam's not going back. Whoever else plays on that team that's worth anything, they're not showing up to that or trade me, bottom line. So I think it was more of a calculated move regardless, because if he didn't say nothing, then it would have gone, we wouldn't be talking about it. But the simple fact is he did it for a reason, outside of Kraft, who also had a situation that went away because he got some money. It's I ain't buying it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that it definitely feels the way that he's describing it. You know what I mean? I think that it's kind of like, if we think back to months ago when Drew Brees had made a comment in an interview, about, not protesting during the flag and all that kind of stuff. And you saw actually the blowback that he got from the best players on the team, who are African American. And he realized that he actually needed to check himself and be like, okay, well, if I am supposed to be going, into these games each weekend with these guys, if I want, them to trust me, I gotta actually expand my my viewpoint here. And for Bill, this is definitely somewhat of a business decision in the same ilk. You know what I mean? I think that the players now, as we've talked about in the NFL, even though they don't have as big of a voice as maybe some of the other athletes out there doing their respective sports, just because of the platforms, the players are becoming more vocal, and they're actually being given more of a platform now. So it is one of those things where it could actually start affecting the bottom line from the owner standpoint in kind of the opposite way that they've always approached it. They've always approached it being like, oh, well, people are going to be upset about people, kneeling for the anthem, when it's like, nah, man, people are actually upset about, people being racist and shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
You don't get no credit for for insurrection, sedition, and people dying. You don't get any credit for standing after everyone has already said this was wrong.
Right.
You're
okay.
Wrong with the flow, man. You don't get any credit for that.
And now this. Oh, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead. Go, my bad.
I've been waiting since high school, AP government, 11th grade, to use the word insurrection. So that's been I'm like, what, almost 30 years, and it finally, well, a little less than that. So, whatever. As far as the whole presidential, freedom, yeah, I ain't got no words on that because we already know what that is.
Right. I think that closing out on that. I think that he just gave. I mean, Tiger Woods is getting it too, getting it as well. Like there's the list of people I saw that were getting it. I'm like, all personal close friends. Like nothing impactful. I don't think that it hits different than when you saw Obama give his away. You had Ellen up there, Michael Jordan. I mean, Tom Hanks. I mean, there was a variety of people in those classes when he gave his out. Yeah, I think this is more so. Hey, I'm gonna give you this. Will you still be my friend? Kind of thing. So.
Yeah. He's losing friends left and right.
Exactly. And now this. So yesterday, I don't know who put it in the chat. Was that UE? I think E had put it in the chat. Harden to the Nets, and it had been rumors for a while, right before Christmas, that we all knew Harden going into the season wasn't happy and didn't want to go back to the Rockets. So he even showed that showing up looking like Mark Henry, as I seen the meme going around. But he showed up. I mean, he was still balling. He just looked like he didn't care. But anyways, so Harden was traded, as you can tell by the graphic, to the Nets yesterday, and the Nets gave away a lot for one person, right? And they made a lot of other teams better. On paper, it looks like right now this is going to be, the superstar squad to beat. This is, they've already given them championship on paper, just the way this team looks. But you lost a lot of key players. I think losing Jared Allen is huge for them because now you really don't have a true. I mean, you got DeAndre Jordan still there, but it doesn't look good on paper with the pieces that they gave up. And right now, one of those three is not even playing. Like, go figure. Kyrie is the one that's still not. I mean, Kyrie has issues everywhere he goes, and now he's not really taking a leave of absence, but he has to pass COVID protocols, and he doesn't even know when he's coming back. It's a mess, and they don't even have a coach, according to them. They're gonna govern themselves, right? They're gonna look like the people who tried to storm the Capitol. They want to govern themselves. They can win the championship by themselves. Steve Nash is there on paper. His name is coach, but he's not gonna be able to control these three egos. I don't think it'll work. Just who takes the last shot? Whose team is it? I mean, Kevin Durant and Harden are two different players, but they were in OKC. Harden was coming off the bench in OKC, and it was clearly kind of KD's team. But since then, Harden has won MVP, I believe, right? Has he won MVP? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's won MVP since then.
Yeah.
And Kyrie has won a championship. Harden's the only one that doesn't have a ring. We'll go around because we can talk about this forever. I'll let everybody else state their opinion.
What I saw on that is like, so they put together this team. So I seen something they were saying like this is remnants of LeBron and Wade and Bosh down in Miami. Here's the difference. They actually liked each other. They were actually friends. These three cats, do they even like each other? Like, first of all, I think at some point that the Nets is going to move Kyrie. Like, I honestly do believe. I think they're going to move him. So I can see Kevin Durant and James Harden playing together. But at the end of the day, I don't see them coming out of the East though, because first of all, Kevin Durant, I think even though they're playing an abbreviated season, I think towards the end of the season, I think that even that time off is going to catch up with him. I think, Achilles injury with a person his size, I think it's just going to catch up along the way. Two, that mentality that, where we've come to know as that Mamba mentality, late great Kobe Bryant, or even having that mentality, that Jordan mentality. None of these guys got that. Kyrie, maybe, but he's up in the cloud somewhere, out there on planet Earth that about to fall off the edge because it's flat. I just don't see this being good. And on top of that, Steve Nash is just there. He's just a consultant. He's not even the coach. He's just consulting, bro. That's all he's doing. They didn't strip him his power already. I don't see this working out.
I think he was the safer bet as coach because he's unproven, his first job, and really they just need somebody to fill that spot.
Yeah, he just sitting on the bench. He'd hold a clipboard and they write down stuff and I go.
Exactly. Go ahead, EC.
I'll let CB go because I definitely got I got a bombshell for this one.
Yeah, I'll do what's the term in volleyball? I'll do the set or whatever.
Okay.
You can, get ready to spike it down, I think that, and just to touch on Sean's Hot Seat podcast just a little bit, gamers with headsets and stuff. The main thing that this affects is
That's what you
2K.
did there.
The main thing that this affects is 2K. You just can't play with the nets in 2K because you can turn off, injuries, you can turn off the stamina and all that stuff, and then this team becomes offensively, they're probably unstoppable. But the big thing is, you have these three guys. It's obviously a win now move. It's a short-term move. But when are these dudes ever going to be on the court at the same time? You know what I mean? Like Kyrie, someone made a joke on, it was I think it was Twitter, where they were talking about how the Nets went out and found the 3 token Brooklyn dudes. They found, like just this tall, lanky guy, skinny guy, a dude with a beard, and then a dude that's all about like astrology and stuff. They're like, yo, those are the three dudes from Brooklyn. And I was like, yo. And so, I mean, I think that offensively, it's super intriguing. And if we're being honest, let's be real. It shouldn't be a question who takes the shot at the end of the game. Like, it really shouldn't be a question. Everything should play off of KD. And if one of these other dudes is open because, they're going to roll coverage over that way, then that's good for them. But let's be honest, KD is one of the greatest scorers on the planet, along with these dudes. But he's just on a different level in the pantheon, as far as I'm concerned, and he's still in his prime. So still coming off the injury, like it's 1A is KD at the end, and then you can figure out whatever you want to do with the other two dudes.
Superfly,
you gonna interrupt before he drops his bomb?
I'm telling you, I got the drop. So
Let me back clean up.
He over there
I'll
lighting-
jump in
he's
real
lighting
quick.
fuse over there.
I mean, I think, from a basketball standpoint, you got 2 ball dominant guards that you just don't have enough, basketballs to go around. Like if Harden was willing to just be a spot up shooter, I think it would work out, but I'm not sure has the ability to do that, whereas KD could do that. And has done it in his career. The one thing that is kind of intriguing is that they did have like one of the best like second teams in the league, and they were, had a pretty deep bench. So from that standpoint, if you moved one of them to have more minutes with the second team, they just become a little bit deeper. So that's where the like coaching comes into play. But I also think that the chemistry doesn't seem like it's going to work out well, given the track record of Harden and Kyrie. So you know what I'm saying. I'm a little skeptical of it, but it's kind of fun also though, just to see just wild shit happen like this. Like it just makes it interesting.
This is like you're saying, this is like on 2K when you want to put the trade up and it says, do you want to override this and put the trade through? This is like one of those moves. Right. And mind you, real quick, they blocked the Chris Paul trade to LA.
Right.
That trade was blocked. This one went through. Go ahead, E.
This could be a whole segment, but like you said, I'm just gonna drop the bomb now. Somebody already said it in the comments, but I got I'm do my Stephen A. Good sources tell me that Kyrie won't be there past All-Star. Right? You got to get rid of Kyrie. One thing is he may not even show up for the rest of the year. Take off, whether it's mental health, family stuff, whatever he's going through. He doesn't necessarily have to come back. Like 2 things. Matter of fact, there's 2 teams. I don't think they can get through Boston. The reason why Boston has the chemistry, they're young enough. You got Marcus Smart that'll D up anybody on the other team, and you still got 2 dogs on there. I think they're just trying to figure out their chemistry because they kind of lost a few. Miami, same squad. The only minus I think Crowder. But if you look at it, that team well coached, and kind of like Superfly said, in that moment of, when it's coaching versus coaching, that's gonna, kind of overplay in that situation. But ultimately, like you said, it's nice to watch if it ever happens. 3 or 4 games, people will watch it, but gave up too much. Karis LeVert, probably they're literally their Lou Will of the Clippers. Like, he's instant buckets. He does this thing, like you said. The other cat with the fro, Jared Allen. Like, you had the pieces already on your bench to make the run to help you get to that point without having to make this trade. Like I said, Kyrie won't be there past All-Star, and if he is, like I said, I don't see them really coming out of the East.
No, I agree. I just think that it'll play out interesting, but yeah, their strongest part besides the big two, they had the deep bench, and that's where a lot of teams lack. That's how Golden State was able to win. They had a deep bench outside their starting lineup. Their bench was strong, as strong as their lineup, and that's with the Clippers too. But the Clippers just didn't know how to put those pieces out there and win.
And not to forget, they still got Dinwiddie on the squad. He's just hurt right now. You dig? So that is an X factor. However, if he's not healthy, it really doesn't matter, because again, they can run that system. But like I said, coaching wise, your bench, everybody's seeing what it makes the difference when it comes to the playoffs, especially when you get to the conference finals. Like, you got to have that bench player that's going to come off and give you them points when everybody that's locking down on your superstars.
Okay, see how it plays out. And this one right here, something different. After going into their 5th season, it just announced that Insecure will be their last season on preferably maybe HBO. I don't know if they're gonna do a deal somewhere else. Issa Rae is strong enough to take it somewhere else and do her own network possibly, or do her own show somewhere else. But they just announced this, and this is a huge. I'm a late bloomer into this show. I had heard a lot about it. Then by being home on the pandemic, this is one of the things that I just picked up and started watching, and we got through 4 seasons in a matter of like 2 weeks. Because I mean, each episode's like 30 minutes, and you just back to back to back to back. And I think I prefer to watch it this way, because apparently I think in between season 3 and 4,
a couple years,
it was like a year gap or 2-year gap for the season. So that would have pissed me off watching it then. But I think watching like this, that's how I watch Game of Thrones too. I went through the whole Game of Thrones in one swoop, and I felt like that's probably the best way to watch it, because taking a year off in between, and from the ending of like the Red Wedding to the next, however it was going to play out. Yeah, no. So I don't know if you guys are fans of Insecure, but this one right here, man, I know this was a popular show.
I saw season 1, and then that's it. Like, I saw season 1. That was the only time I watched it. And then, like, for as far as series stuff, you gotta catch me, and then I'll be locked into it. And then I forgot, to be honest, I forgot it was still on. But that was
well, like you said, like they take long gaps of breaks in between. Like, and I think they finally wrote the next season has been written, and I think they go into production in February. So you're looking at December, probably kind of.
I've been a fan since the beginning of it, and I applaud Issa for just being a boss and being able to call the shots on when it started and when it ends. You know what I'm saying? She's been writing, running, and they have a showrunner, but she's been, really pushing the train, opening the doors for all these other Black artists to shine. And I'm just looking forward to the next thing, honestly. Like, the show itself, it could have continued to go, but honestly, like, the best thing to do is to end it while people still want it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to it ending on a note where people are tired of watching it. So I think that's dope.
You like Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah, I don't watch that show, but
SVU still
exactly. Yeah, all that stuff that's been over 20 years. Like, don't nobody watch that.
But I still, every once in a while, I still watch All My Children, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I throw it back.
That's say all people don't watch. People obviously watch it, but it's just not. it's not cool like Insecure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to everybody that's in the comment section. I see Marcus in there, former DSG employee, John. Shout out to the shoe department. He's in there. Big Mac is there. Patty Cake Piper. First of all, look, Patty Cake Piper. He sent me
Hold
for
it
my
down.
birthday. I got these red velvet brownies. Yo,
That sounds
God
fat.
has touched those hands.
Yeah, that just
He's
sounds fat
blessed
right
those.
there.
He's blessed those hands. And I figure, I mean, I'm eating like shit anyway while I'm on vacation. I always do that first 2 weeks of the year anyway. But back to it come Monday, and yeah, so my orders for those little brownies will be going to dwindle down. But if you just joined us and if you missed the opening performance, we have Mr. Shawn Xavien in the house tonight for our concert series.
Light skinned boy wonder, son.
Here we go. So Shawn will be performing things off his new project and some of his older projects. So Shawn, are you ready for your next performance?
True. Yeah. Right. Hey, look. So yeah. So again, like you said, perform some stuff off there. Just, we brung it out the we dust the dust off the mic a little bit. So want y'all to vibe with us all evening, man. I'm very blessed and highly favored, man. I appreciate them guys bringing me back. I'm coming back since episode 32. So
Yeah,
I was
it's been a
happy
while. It's
there.
been a while. We were still on audio.
Right. Now there was like 8-track back then. Now we back, you know what I'm saying? we got big in the world. So this next joint I'm gonna do is one that it features my very best friend and one of the dopest MCs that I've ever met in my life. He actually, whether he know it or not, he inspired me to be even a better MC. Like I started by myself on this musical journey, and then he and I met along the way, and it was just the competition. Like I had to outdo him, and then he probably said the same thing about me. So whoever had the illest bars, that's what we would do. And he is the reason why I am as good as I am, and I believe that wholeheartedly. It took me a long time to get to the point to where I was like, damn, I'm actually a pretty good rapper. But now at this point now, I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. That's self-confidence, I guess. So, but all right. So this track, man, is gonna be a abbreviated track off my new album. It's called Beautiful. Yeah. So you got a glass with you this evening, and you got something in it. Put it on up. If it's empty, go and pour up. The whole night's gonna be beautiful, baby. Yeah.
They tell us what it is. Bright lights, shooting stars.
Whole night's gonna be.
Whole night's gonna
Yeah.
be. Because we at it again.
Yo, VA stand up,
Yeah,
baby.
we at it
757.
again. Whole night's gonna
Yeah.
be. Whole night's gonna be.
One in the sky for both our fallen kings. Two for my nigga who showed me finer things. Pinky rings, long nights and many springs. We double up, we ran it up by any means. Trapped in the closet, flowing so pristine. We watching cars, so many bars over 16. Same table, we breaking bread over collard greens. From split decisions of all visions from what we see. The hardest one we said to run for the dream. I'll be thinking you got me, but we were hustling. From 80s baby to never maybe to missing me. To God's son beyond one who let it breathe. Telling stories like old glory with seasoning. We met our peoples as equals and lived a common theme. But never skies, no lies, we keep it clean. Beyond brothers, no blood cutters.
They tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Bright lights, shooting stars.
Whole night's gonna be. Whole night's gonna be.
Because we at it again.
At it again.
Yeah, we at it again.
Yeah, we at it again.
Whole night's
It's gonna be beautiful. Yeah.
Whole night's gonna be.
Everything about life everything that you love. See the beauty in everything. The ups and downs and the rounds. Shawn Xavien. We gonna make it through. We gonna say some missed words. It's okay though. Let's make sure you stream the album. Oh man, I told you, dusting off the chops, boy, dusting off the chops. All right, so this next song I'm going to is one of my favorite songs. It came off of my last album, Yesterday Was Different, which these fine gentlemen had the honor. Actually, no, I had the honor of sharing it with these gentlemen off a very personal album, but it came to be one of the favorite tracks of most people who listen to it. So it's gonna be Tell Me How It Feels. And I'm gonna do something that's probably not too popular in the hip hop world. I'm actually gonna do this with the backing vocals. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's one I was on the ropes about doing, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play it and just vibe with me. You know the words. Come on to it, man. Turn your TVs up if you can. Tell me how it feels, man. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Yeah. I see somebody say hydrate. Yeah. When we feel blue, we reach for the sky. Never knew the truth, so we live a lie. Searching for the X, so I ask why. We sleeping on our dreams, just to pass time. Mirror, 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 sitting on the wall. Watching every move, every pitfall. Down for the count, whether walk tall. Rock bottom with the cash, turn the lights off. Caught up in the wash, every rat race. Blocking every view, every black face. Tell them that you move at your own pace. Not now, too soon, that's the worst case. Put it in your will, that's a death stroke. Say it with your chest, that's a breaststroke. Then watch it all burn like a slow smoke. Monty Crystal on demand, got you so stoked. Yeah, tell me how it feels. Yeah. Sipping tea with your feet up, sitting on the hill. Sitting on the hill. So tell me how it feels, yeah. Sipping tea with your feet up, sitting on the hill. Yeah. Sitting on the hill. Heads up, now you know they gon' spin it. Bottles up, but you really ain't spin it. Level up, got a long way to finish. Measure up on a little bit of clearance. Hats off to the downers and drowners. Choking up on the clowns with the frown. Cause everything that goes up comes down. Cause hands off the lapel, not for sale, love. Now put your lighter in the sky. A little old school, but your phone just died. We on the like real, so the juice can't ride. They probably got beef with their feelings on the side. Yeah, so tell me how it feel. Step in muddy water with the vision so clear. Nipping at your heels with your toes like steel. Sipping tea slow with the Buddhist ear. Yeah. Sipping tea with your feet up. Yeah. Sitting on the hill. So tell me how it feels, yeah. Yeah. Sipping tea with your feet up, sitting on the hill. Yesterday was different. Yeah. Yeah, tell me how it feels, yeah. Yesterday was different. Yeah.
All right, man. Dope. Man.
Feeling shaky, brother. Shaky. I'm trying to get it together. I swear I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get it together.
Look, man, look. Tell you, what you are doing is more than I've seen some do. So, and you are doing it. So don't worry about it. Just relax. We're all good. We're all good. But yeah, so if you just joined us again, Mr. Shawn Xavien, he is here tonight performing stuff off of his new project XIX, and I want to add something to that because apparently this is his last project. He's made it well known that this is gonna be it for him. He's wrapping it up. So I'm gonna start off with my question as to why now. Seems like from I've listened to all of your stuff, and then especially from Yesterday Was Different. where that was completely different than the other stuff before that, from what I'm listening to. And then now we get into XIX, and that's the lane that you're in now is completely different from Yesterday Was Different, and it seems like it's still progressing. So why now?
Um, it was just good timing, man. You know, was crazy. I'm a big believer in things happening for a reason, at the right time. And, you know, this album here actually comes 10 years after the release of my first solo album, which was Enigma back in 2010, which, you know, we re-released a 10-year anniversary version in 2020. And this was the first album since then where I felt completely free to do whatever I wanted, with no real thought of trying to please a certain ear or try to get radio play or anything along those lines. It was just something that I just feel complete, man. Like, it took me, you know, I used to doubt my ability as an artist and a rapper because I don't look like an artist or a rapper. I don't. Um, and I always felt like, you know, I was trying to prove myself to everyone, that I belong, and that's how I started off. Thing is, though, you kind of lose like the whole purpose behind making good music, you know. So once we got up to about, you know, Yesterday Was Different and how personal that was me really just closing the book on all that stuff that was really affecting me. And then, you know, even after that, right after that, I think Khalil, I think I sent you a graphic like right after we did Yesterday Was Different. I sent you a graphic. So, you know, the cover art has went through different versions. So maybe a month or so after that, I sent you the artwork for, you know, the time XIX, and that was in 2018. So
Yep.
I already knew then this was going to be my last one, my last album. I'm not going away from music. This is just my last album, and it takes a lot to put together an entire album. It does, man. The energy behind it, um, and the way I write, you know, I want to make sure it's a good listen throughout. I don't do singles. Like I never did that. Shout out to everybody who did it though. They respect, you know, the guys who, you know, turning in those singles and they blowing up. Thing is though, what's your longevity? You know, I've been at this for 15 years, and I realized maybe about a year or so ago was like, man, you actually did have an impact on hip hop. And don't get it, don't get it twisted. This isn't an impact on an A-list level. This is me just being an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I didn't realize that I actually had an impact on people to the point to where they really look forward to what I was doing. And I was like, man, I realized. So I just took it all in. It's like, all right. So, you know, this is it, man. I'm going out how I want to. But make no mistakes about it. This is an extended release. So we come into 2021. Oh, I got some stuff up these sleeves though. So this is gonna carry all the way through. There's a lot of stuff happening with this project going through this whole year.
I'm glad you put that out there because that was one of my questions later on down the line. Um,
Yeah, I was going to jump in and talk about just the end of this album. You talked about this was side A, I believe. So I was wondering, like, is it, you know what I mean? Is there's a whole other piece to this? And the next question also is around. So you say you're not done. Like, are you switching formats to a more singles or EP, or are you just trying to do production or writing? Like, what's your plan?
My biggest project to date, well, my biggest upcoming project is one is probably is giving me the most joy. I didn't think I did. So my son, he's 16, Xavien, shout out to him. He's a little me. He came to me one day and say, hey, he wanted to do an animated film. He loves anime and stuff like that. I say, you sure that's what you want to do? I said, I'm okay, cool. I remember my dad always say, you can do whatever you want to do. That's what in the whole thing at the beginning, my dad said, you can be what you want to be. So that's what I want to do. So what I often see sometimes as parents It's like, our kids tell us things and, we're like, oh, that's good. But how much support do we actually give them to make sure that their dreams come true? So I said, okay. So I said, this is what we want you to do. I said, what it takes to do an animated film? He said, yeah. I said, all right. So I said, give me your plan. Bring me a plan of everything that you need. Software, hardware, your potential, your rough draft, whatever. He brought it back to me the same day. Said, Dad, this is what I need, the stuff I need. I said, all right, cool. So like October, November. I said, all right. So I went in, got him his system, his computer system. He got all his writing stuff, drawing stuff, his whole room and stuff. He had sketched stuff everywhere. So he started on his animated film, and the other day I seen him do it. So he had sketched out his actually drew it on in the computer, his first title sequence. And I sat there in awe. I was like, yo, that's freaking dope. That is dope. And I asked him, I said, hey, can I do the score for it? I asked him respectively, can I do the score? He was like, yeah, of course. So that's what I'm ready for. Like I'm going to score his animated film, man. I think he's almost done with the pilot episode or the pilot joint on it, and he's been working on it probably the last couple of months. And I'm looking at it, and it's legit, man. Besides that, I'm going to be doing more producing stuff like that. The thing about these albums, like since 2018, I'm back in the game, so I'm producing a lot. I'm doing different stuff now. So I'm doing stuff. I'm working on stuff behind the scenes. Of course, you guys know, the Hot Seat podcast. We pushing that. I'm giving that the same energy that I gave my career the last 15 years, and then some. So, and I might pop up with a guest verse every once in a while, because that's just because somebody know what I'm talking about. But but yeah, man. So I ain't done. It's just this last album though. That's all. Long story short.
Shawn, what was your process like this time around? Obviously, I'm guessing not done, since we're getting, part 2 or side B forthcoming. But I remember you telling us on the when you were putting together Yesterday Was Different, how you basically went in and like dropped everything like in one night. You said you basically went on a super recording session one night where you locked yourself in the room and laid down a bunch of stuff. And I want to know what was it like, this time around? Like how was it different or the same? Like what was the experience like?
This album went through so many iterations. So my original release date that I was going to do this was, my first date I was going to release this was back in October of 2020. That was the first initial date. But I had already recorded a bunch of songs, but I didn't like how the flow of it sounded. So I got a bunch of stuff that I didn't even put or didn't make it onto this. It just didn't sound right. I was experimenting with so many different sounds and stuff. I got software that I had never really used per se. So I'm like, man, I got some new stuff in here, because like there's some software that I use, I feel like I maxed out the potential on it. Like I flipped this sound so many times. I'm like, okay, I got to find something new. So I did some songs, I ain't really like it, so I set it down. And this goes all the way back to 2018. The Beautiful track, I did that. That's old. The beat is old, and I didn't. And Storyteller, he didn't get on it until, we were down to like the last hours of that. Just like a few. I want to say about a week before I actually dropped the album. I was holding it right, because to make sure we did it right. And the process now was, okay, I know I wanted the entry. I wanted that way. I wanted to speak on the fact that, how would I be looked at when I stopped this? And also on the fact is, I gave a lot to a lot of people in music, and I often felt like I didn't get back what I gave, and I don't have any regret about it. It's just, it's business, no matter what you do. But I no longer felt like I had to be quiet about things. I didn't want to out know people or nothing like that. But I say, this is my truth. This is what's up. And the people that know I work with, they know what it is. And I think they always looked at me as like, yo, you just a good producer. But leave the rapping for somebody else. 15 years later, I'm still here, and them.
Nice. Yeah, right. I mean,
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, it was long, but it's like, now, to your correct, like side 2 is done, except for one song. It's done. That's done. And that will drop in February. But that's done.
Real quick, E, before you get to yours, I just want to say something. So when he mentioned Storyteller, and then he just did the track Beautiful with Storyteller that's on the track, me and Superfly sat here when we did the mashup episode, and we had Dave and Eric on the show, and I never put two and two together that Dave was Storyteller. Never put, and I listened to Shawn's music way before that, and I knew he had a project together. He's on a lot of tracks, and so I'm very familiar with Storyteller. But the man sat right here on the show and didn't even give.
Bring it up.
He didn't bring it up. He didn't even give his alias or nothing. He was just I'm a dad now. I'm doing real estate. It's my family. You didn't even bring it up, Dave. That's fine. Now I know. Secret's out.
Here's the crazy part. We have a whole album. He has a whole album that we never released. It's called True Story. We never released. So we released singles off of it, but we recorded a whole 11, 12 track album, and it's still wanted to do it. And it's a whole different sound on it, man. We did that back in 2009, 2010, and we never released it at the time. Like, we started moving and stuff like that. I think he had moved up top, Northern Virginia, but it never came out. We did get some radio play off a couple of songs like 80s Baby. We had that on 103 Jams. And then we did a couple of other joints, but we never released it. And it's just like that. But we talk about it all the time, but we still play it. Like, I think CB said a few, actually, when he was on Hot Seat, about people who don't listen to their own music. We listen to our stuff all the time. Like, we be at the house and we play it, and we could play a whole playlist of nothing but Sanaa Circle music all day and fill it up for hours. Like, I'm not asking, but Superfly, I could give you this, and you could have a whole set of nothing but. And we're talking about hundreds of songs, and it's just it's just that type of. But it was a type of vibe. It was a type of vibe. It is like, it goes back to the days when you had people who had those big crews. When you had like Dungeon Family, when you had like G Unit, when you had Rockefeller, and they had those groups of people there. So we had so many artists that were recording. We just was creating night in and night out, and it was just, and you end up having just like a plethora of music, man.
That kind of goes into the question that I have as far as unreleased tracks, things of that nature. I know you riding off to the sunset, throwing deuces and everything, but as far as the unreleased, do you see yourself at least putting out stuff that you didn't, just to, again, the thing about retirement doesn't mean that you still ain't got work to put out for people to kind of get their ear to, you know what I mean? And I kind of think, based upon your following, that the music is what they looking for, even if you drop it, almost like little pellets, kind of like the Pac-Man game, like, it's still something out there for them to get. You got to be able to do that, you know what I mean? Because I take it from Pac. He put out all the damn. He has so much work.
Right.
But he had, but they, regardless if they were unreleased, people still got from him what they wanted out of it because they were true fans of his. And I feel like, how do you feel as far as your unreleased tracks, or even like you said, that whole album, that you and Storyteller did that you guys didn't drop?
I think it'll be like a soft release. I guess since we like so much older now, it's different. Like, because like, I ain't gonna be honest, because now we have like careers and whatnot like that, so you speak a little different. So you got to be careful about some of the stuff. It's not like saying we were saying something, doing something, or saying something salacious or something like that. It just depends on the energy behind it. Like I said, we did put quite a bit about it, but I'll see what he says about it. As far as me, like the one album, Return of the Fallen, that didn't come out, but like some of the tracks that came off of it, one of them was 64 and Running. And then another track that Storyteller was on, along with Money from ETP. Shout out ETP. They was on The World. And then so a few of the tracks have come out off of it. It's just like it came in. It just didn't. I can see it coming out. Especially now, I'm really on, and I try to educate any artist coming up, especially people from WoW and stuff like that, is how to license and get your stuff in working for you. even when you're not doing anything. One thing is I learned early on, even though I wasn't like constantly performing in like shows or stuff like that, is I was working behind the scenes and getting, stuff for licensing and stuff like that. I got my first royalty check via Sound Exchange back like in 2009. And man, I felt great. Like, it's like, it's an independent artist, like on my level, like I'm like down here in my opinion, and I get a royalty check and I still get them. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that a lot of independent artists who aren't, in this digital age don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm 40 now. I'm putting out music, but if I can stop, I can still have my music placed with ESPN, or I can still have it as part of, or I'm still scoring music or something like that. So, and I plan, and if something does happen, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm putting energy out there. This one thing I'm working on happen out there, then that's going to be a big win. Shortly.
What?
Oh, God, I was going to say, before we get to the second round of questions, we got another performance.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Getting ready to come up. If you want, go ahead and do the next two. Go back to back again.
Oh my God. Let me see what we got.
Go back to back again.
Okay. All right, cool. I guess it's two different. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm with
Actually, you know what? I mean, if you got it set up, just go ahead, do the first one, then we'll go back.
Yeah,
we'll go back
all
in.
right,
Let's do something
all right,
different.
cool. All right, so we're gonna vibe on this next song. That I haven't done this song in about 10 years. It's it has a real a Tribe Called Quest vibe to it. It's one of them tracks that the storyteller begged and pleaded to be on, but he wasn't on this one. It's the Other Side of the Pillow. So I'm gonna do it. I might mess it up. I don't know, but just vibe with me. And it's off the Enigma album. So it's out there. Go get it. Go stream it. All right. Let's see what we got. And if you with your lady right now or with your significant other, don't listen to the words too much. All right. I'm just saying. It's the We Are Something Else. Shawn Xavien. Yeah. The morning dew. How do you do? The thing we did. How did I do? Was it good to you? It was to me. Magic gathered repeatedly. Teddy to Isley. MP3. I was searching repeatedly. Waiting for promise. Came free. Woman conquered. Bravely. Exhale, stellar moonlight. Bring it back, girl. Your mood is my type. You ain't saying much. I need your insight. Are you sleeping? Are you alright? Did I miss something? Lips still tight. Warm evening. Cold daylight. What you talking about? Are you top flight? Skin tight feel. Breakthrough night.
There's you. Then there is me. Then there is us. Then there is we. Let's get down. Keep it discreet. And be free.
Must be the other side of the pillow.
There's you, then there is me, then there is us, then there is we. Let's get down, keep it discreet, and be free. Must be the other side of the pillow.
Got me bugging. Can't think straight. Damn breakfast. Fuck a pancake. Can't miss. Turned out to be a mistake. I ain't say ho, but you did take 5 minutes to get a feel of the manly. 10 minutes to forget about your bestie. 15, then you whisper undress me in the corner of the light where it shouldn't be. Fast forward to the king size comfy. Pillow top with the toast of the bubbly. Nikki's holding everything so suddenly. Everything so started so suddenly. Now the matter is what I just might be. New life in the middle of us cuddling. One shot hit rim if I'm lucky. Night out with the jump off dumbly.
There's you, then there is me, then there is us, then there is we. Let's get down, keep it discreet, and be free.
Must be the other side of the pillow.
There's you, then there is me, then there is us, then there is we. Let's get down, keep it discreet, and be free. Must be the other side of the pillow.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
There's you, then there is me, Then there is us, then there is we. Let's get down, keep it discreet, and be free.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right. Yeah, right.
Yeah. That song got me in a lot of trouble back in the day, bro. I ain't gonna lie
Not
to you. It got
so,
me in
man.
a lot of trouble. But I think we all been there. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say that. I think we might have been there. It's one of those like, I traveled around the world a little bit, and I wrote that based off of personal experience and third party experience. And it was a ticket from a lot of different things. No, I did not. Somebody asked me. No, I did not knock somebody up. Or nothing like that, or after a one night stand. But I will tell a quick story real quick. So I wrote this song off of an experience I had when I was 19 years old. I was in the military, and I was in Seoul, Korea. And when we used to go out on the weekends, the commandant and first sergeant used to tell us, hey, if you go out and you catch something over here, we ain't sending your ass back home. You can't go back home. And they had this thing, look it up. They had this thing called black syphilis, bro. It's out there. So yeah, look at CB. So they would show us pictures and everything, man, in the big gymnasium. We have a big safety briefing, right? So this is my first weekend there. I'm 19. You can drink, legally 20, but you can drink out on the hill, Itaewon. So I got toe up, bro. Toe up. So at some point, I must have met up with some girl and must got busy or whatever. So fast forward, I must have blacked out, whatever I remember. Next day, one of my guys woke me up and said, yo, how was last night? I was like, what do you mean? He said, you left with old girl. He said, and we were like dorm room buddies. He said, yo, you smashed her that night. I was like, oh, no. When I say I ran a 4.240 to the med shed to go get checked out, that's when I first experienced the STD test. Look, I'm telling you right now, scared straight, brother. Scared straight. Because I'm like, yo, I'm out here. I know I didn't use protection. And all I could hear him saying was, if you catch black syphilis, you can't go back home to the United States because they ain't got nothing to treat it. Man, listen, change your life. So that song was part, like I part of that. It was like, I took that and flipped a lot of stuff on it. That's right. Man, listen, boy. All right. Yeah, that's all I got for that. Now that I scared everybody straight. So I'm saying, wrap up, son. Wrap up. You know what I'm saying? They say I use top flight, skin tight feel, breakthrough night. Don't let it break on you.
Look. that's the unplugged storytelling portion of the track. Hey, I appreciate that.
There you go.
Real quick, while everybody's in here, I want to thank everybody that's watching. For us, for Shawn, for all the Hot Seat podcasts, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need a few more. Well, we're approaching another milestone, and there's enough people in here that can help us get there. So, if not for us, do it for Shawn Xavien, for surviving the black syphilis out there too. Superfly, I'll let you kick off this round of questions.
Oh
man, he put the mustard in there. I'm like, man, he must have right. I'm about to start saying that. But yeah, man.
God,
all right. Man. So what's your favorite part about the process? Do you enjoy, production? Like for me, like production, and that's why I enjoy DJing, because I get that like instant feedback. But like creating and recording music is a long process.
Yeah.
From the point that you start it all the way through the point to you get somebody's ears on it and you actually get some gratification from it.
Yeah.
So like what part of the process do you enjoy the most?
I like I love the production part. Like I like when I start and I don't use loops. Like if I loop myself. So if I find something I like, I'll write it out, like loop it for 8 bars, but I like seeing what it comes out to be like, or if something you have in your mind and it turns out to be something else, or you hear that one little thing that's like, yo, that right there is dope. So that's when you end up getting that, turn it all the way up and just playing it back. So I got something. Then the challenge is, yo, how can I rap or write something to this and don't sound or don't get outdone by the beat? You know what I mean? Like, because you heard a lot of songs, it's like, yo, that beat is dope, but his lyrics are trash. But I never feared that. I just want to know how can I really like challenge the beat in this case. And I had a compliment. Someone gave me a compliment the other day and said, he said, I listen to your music. They said they complimented my wordplay. And it was like in this article that was done last year, I think Underground Hip Hop did on me. They also commented the wordplay, and I was like, that's just, and I talk like that though. That's crazy. It's like I talk how I rap. Like anybody tell you, like I talk in like code sometime, or like I say things. It's weird, but it's just how I write. So like that process, man, I just like seeing how it comes out. But then I'm never satisfied, because like after I hear it all recorded, then I'm always want to go back and tinker it, because it could have sounded better. It could have sounded better on that. So I like it all. Souffle, I ain't gonna lie, man. I just like creating a song, and I like creating something that sounds different than everybody else. Like that old man on his yard, get off my yard thing. That's me. Like, yo, I'm gonna do auto tune and none of that. I won't do it. I just can't do it. But I, salute to those guys. But I stand over here on my joint.
As an artist myself, and I say that with as much confidence as anyone could possibly say. Shawn, me and we've talked long about music and over the years now, since we become homies and stuff. And I know
we've been knowing each other for a while now. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I know that I get this question a lot, so I'm not going to necessarily pose it the exact same way that it gets posed to me, but it's very common for, I feel like, if people find out that you're in music, be like, oh, well, what's your favorite song of like yours? And trying to narrow it down. And I know that it's kind of like choosing, this is not from my own experience. I'm assuming it'd be like choosing between your kids, like which one's your favorite and all that kind of thing. But do you have like a set of songs or a project, or maybe you do have a singular one that maybe is not necessarily you're going to say your favorite, but maybe one that you probably put a little bit more in the rotation than some of the others, or you go through spells where it's like, oh yeah, this is just my jam, and I really laid it down on this, and you just can't get enough. Do you got stuff like that for yourself?
I do, and actually, one of the songs was actually is a couple of them. One of my favorite songs is 64 and Running. I did with Ricky Boy, is a good friend of mine. I did with there, and another song, that same one, was The World, what I did with Storyteller and Money. It was just like the sound of it was just so dope. My two favorites though, and they're not even my songs, they came off my mixtape, Gorgeous Mind mixtape, and it was my joint over Jay-Z's December 5th joint, I think it was. I think it's what that joint there. That and Kanye West Power. So I did two joints over those, and those are two of my favorite. Only for the simple fact is, you gotta really be confident in what you're doing to get on that somebody of that ilk's instrumental. My all-time favorite though, for the simple fact it was my first time ever getting radio play, was Get Up and Go. We created that song, Storyteller and I, back in 2007 or so, 2007, 2006, 2007. And it got played on the Sunday Night Spotlight. And it was November 2007. And when it came on, I was through the roof. My first ever radio play. And it played behind, a bunch of gangster stuff like that. This was just different. It was different. And that's my favorite joint. It was my favorite because it was a hard beat to rap over. But we smashed it. Like that shit it was so hard. And then we performed it. We performed it at an Applebee's once, bro, on a karaoke night. Like a bunch of like co-workers or the storytellers was there. I was like, yo, they were drunk. You gotta perform, man. You gotta perform. He's like, Shawn, you got the music? Hell yeah. I always had the disc at the time, CDs, in my car. put it in a joint. They played it, and we rocked the Applebee's in Williamsburg, Virginia. Crushed it. It was like my favorite joint, bro. I love it. I love
That's
it,
awesome.
man. I love it.
So I got a question. I mean, everything is a segue. C-Bay must have looked at my notes or whatever. But speaking of beats, right?
Yeah.
Is there one or two that is almost kind of like your Mount Rushmore that you've always wanted to get at, you know, and whether like maybe now is the best time, right? Retirement, you know, let me go ahead and just take a swing at it. Is there one or two out there that you've always just been like, I'm gonna do something on it? Maybe not right now because you've always in kind of like, you know, album mode or trying to get your own, you know, kind of sound going, and you didn't want to kind of veer off from that. But you know, I know, like I said, I've talked to Cleo about this before, like back in the day when we was in the lab, which people might laugh at now, but there was always, you know, the one or two that you just heard that always had you bobbing your head that you just kind of knew, but you never really wanted to go there. Is there one out there for you?
You mean like another artist who and their particular beat? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like for me, like to be honest, if I was a rapper, which I am not, you know, I'm a security guy, so let's just get that out the way. But the Quiet Storm beat for me has always been something that I just felt like give you that it allows you to kind of show your skill set, if you will.
My one beat, and I never jumped on it because it comes from my favorite artist in the entire world, is "Come Close" from Common. That beat is a joint that, even though it's simple, but it's not like just the feel of it. You gotta find that. It's all about your tone too. Like, it ain't just about rapping. Like, you gotta have that tone. And him being who he is, he has that deep joint. That I think at some point I started doing the beard and bald head because he did it too. Either that or my hair started receding. I don't know, one of the two. But that's my absolute. It's okay, man. He's my idol, man. Like, that beat right there is one that I always wanted to jump on. I did jump on one of his joints though. I jumped on the last joint on the B album, which is "It's Your World." So I did that on the Gorgeous Mind mixtape. But "Come Close" is a joint that, now that you said it, I'm gonna mess around. I'm gonna mess around and yeah, that's the joint though for me.
So I know marketing plays a big play into releasing a project, but also I think the one thing I used to look forward to every week was the Circuit City Best Buy ads that came out Sunday for the Tuesday album release. And I couldn't wait to see, because this is before the internet was huge. I couldn't wait to see the album cover of Blueprint or whatever project the artist I was looking forward to. And I remember like how impactful seeing like an album cover is to accompany a project. It's some of the most dopest album covers. The Blueprint first one. I mean, it came in the blue tinted case, and it's just Hove at a coffee table with a cigar. Like, and it's not even a big picture. It's not even, doesn't really focus on Hove. It's just it was different. So what goes into your thought process for album covers, and what is your favorite that you've done?
Of mine or in general?
Yeah, of yours.
My favorite one is from the "A Boy and His Beard" album. It was done by this artist named Samandy. She's mad dope. She's from Williamsburg, Virginia. But if you look at the cover for it, is a frame in there, and I took my daughter's a picture that my daughter had drawn. My daughter probably had to be at the time she probably about 6 years old, and I sent it to her. I said, "Hey, incorporate this into the artwork." So what she did was she created the cover, and it looks like it was like a museum, and it had a statue on it, and then it had this framed art on the wall, and she put my daughter's drawing in it. So dope. Like, I was like blown away. That's my favorite joint. And even, and then it's, was they that, of course, my daughter, she's credited on it for being an artist on it. My son is actually credited for being on our Split Decision album back in 2010. So he actually has a writer's credit, and all he said was bye-bye. But he's on it. He's listed on it. So when you look up BMI on my BMI registration for all my works, you see Xavien's name on it. So that's something that I want to incorporate them with it. But yeah, that cover art is my favorite, man.
What you got next for us?
I got something. I got to set the mood for this one though, because this is I like this one there. We gonna change up a little bit. I know we've been talking in the light for a little bit, but I specifically got something right for this. So I'm gonna black out my screen real quick, and then we gonna get this thing going. All right. Unless you want to do it. Unless you want to cut the screen.
All right, so while Shawn sets up, I want to thank everybody for watching this far. We got a lot of people in and out the room. Again, if you haven't, like and subscribe. That'll take us a long way. We're trying to get there. And then storyteller, man. Look, again, I'm still picking with you because you didn't say anything. I've been following everything. So, but while Shawn sets up, again, thank everybody for doing this, for joining us, and then I think Shawn is almost ready. Again, we are something else. Let's plug our stuff. We are something else. Oh, yeah. YouTube, obviously, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, iTunes. Google us. We're everywhere. You can find us.
Oh yeah, Playo, I got the segment if you want it.
You got the segment?
Yep.
All right. Bet.
All right. We had to set the mood, man. We set the mood. This is my best attempt of the blue and the green, symbolizing that water, man. So if you don't know what it is already, off the new album XIX, man, it's Fresh Water, man. I absolutely love this track. This was inspired by my brother, Stefan Hines, who got married, and we was down on the islands for his wedding, destination honeymoon. So this was inspired by him, and here we go, man. Yeah, vibe a little bit. If you can turn it up, man, go ahead and turn it up on your TV, whatever you're listening to. Let that bass hit. Yeah. Sometimes my worst emotions get the best of me, but truth be told, in the presence of some history, side eyes from the blind side, say la vie. Not every clown wears a mask, that's the trick you see. Bon appetit, minus me, realistically speaking on terms and my nonsense words never made sense till I moved out the verb. Now a nigga rich, forever in Soul Glow. My drip consists of Walter Pagan printed peak polos, colder than Frozone. Mental, I'm still on that jumping jack shit off the toilet. That's my throne. The crown's in the bag. My Jill shining up, cloud nine only swag. Tapped her on the ass, you can see it in her tags. But I ain't even trying to brag. My toes in the sand and I'm feeling jet lag. That's that fresh water, nigga. Take you where I'm from for a late night thriller. Lights seem bigger, hands on the trigger. Close your eyes, you might see a killer. Go figure. Elevated moments of clarity. Diamonds in the rough, yet we find a disparity. If vision wasn't speaking, you can see the disparity. I put it on my back if they wanted to carry me, but I can speak good when I go to the well. I'm suited and booted, second language, top shelf. Expectancy, make it a double on the nightlife pleasantry. Burn if you got it on fire to the third degree. By any means, if you mean seem to dissipate, defer the fee, I'm gone. 60 seconds, no rear view. Living in the moment, first component of the breakthrough. All down, of my season, I changed my name to Seafood. Mess it up. That's a fresh water, nigga. Take you where I'm from for a late night thriller. Like seem bigger, hands on the trigger. Close your eyes, your IT up. Oh man. That's that fresh water, nigga. Take you where I'm from for a late night thriller. Like seem bigger, Hands on the trigger. Close your eyes, you might see a killer. So figure. Man. Yeah. Shawn Xavien. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
Yo,
It feels
hey,
so
look,
good.
hey, look, that's fresh water off of the XIX project. And if you just joined us again, we got Shawn Xavien here tonight promoting his latest project, XIX. So while he does that, again, let's go to the comments real quick.
Got juicy mouthed. Oh yeah. I knew it was coming. Got juicy mouthed for a second there. I was like, I ain't like it.
I'll lead off this next round of questions. What's next for the Hot Seat podcast?
Bigger and better things, man. Actually, our next thing for us, we got the All Black Everything series that's dropping next week. Actually, all Black Everything is dropping. It's actually sponsored by All Black Everything and Wise Guys Cigars. We got a 6-week episode coming up with everybody from fashion to mental health doctors to we have I believe we have an artist in there, I think, as well. We have a comic book artist in there. And it's pretty much celebrating the excellence of Blackness, man, not just in the community, but in the culture, man. So that's going to be fun, man. And what we're doing is like we're not doing anything different. Nobody else doing this, but we're really just trying to see how far we can push this thing. We push boundaries every week. I don't even lie. We go. We may say some things that might get us pulled off of air sometimes. And it's not to, offend or nothing like that. It's just really, it's like barbershop talk and stuff like that. And just bringing people into our little circle. And then we incorporate that with video games. Like we just, like you said, we that's with Mike's games with headsets, man. It's video games. He's talking shit about 2K and Madden and everything else. And then all the, it's crazy how it is. You be playing a regular game and we talking about politics or talking about something crazy along those lines. And we like, damn, we're going to turn this to a podcast. And we've been together for over 10 years. So we've been together that long. So everything is organic. So right now, monetization is happening now. We hope to be able to reach even further. Like right now, we got listeners in Canada, France. Earl said Africa, but I don't think it was Africa was one of them. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. A couple other countries, UK, like dedicated every week, like stamp on it. So like that's dope. Like, we reaching far beyond our base or whatever you want to call it. So it's gonna be dope, man. I love those guys, man. They pretty damn dope. You Rich got that good water. Right. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have to do another podcast swap, man. But we're gonna have to do it. I don't know how we're gonna pull it off, but we're gonna have to do it to where we can get all 8 of us on at one time. That's gonna be a calamity of epic proportions. But I believe we can do it. I think it'd be something we have to do the hard way. Like we can do it once the world open back up and we get together. I think we can do it something where we can get all
definitely.
yeah, and get us all like it can't be digital because that'll sound like shit. So you got to get it somewhere. We got I have the equipment for it. I'm pretty sure Superfly got some stuff in there. If we could tie in 8 mics, we can do it. We can put something together. Have it sponsored by somebody. We could.
ECB.
I get it. I see the performance side for you, right? When you perform the tracks. Is it something that once the retirement came into the brain, does that separate from the performance side as well, right? Because I feel like, we critique ourselves worse than anybody else, right? Mm-hmm. And I noticed, like you said, you stumbled over a word or something like that, but you still at it. how are you gonna cope with the part of not performing the track though, even though you know you got the followers that still want the music?
I don't know. I to be honest, I think with this old digital age, I think I'll probably now, I'll perform songs a little bit more. I do have some visuals set up as well. Just but giving my own little take on it. Because I like doing it. I like performing. I always like performing. And I like the energy behind it. And I like the fact that, it's something you can listen to and be like, you can vibe to it. So it'll happen. It'll be some more performances. I don't know on what level, but definitely some more. I like intimate ones because I feel like it's more personable. Like the space that I'm in right now, you can't see it. So I got a plan to actually do a small intimate set with a whole bunch of other stuff I got here to incorporate. So I can see it. I can see it happening. Definitely.
What's your weapons of choice? Like your workflow?
Right now, right now I am using. I did this whole album. I produced the whole album off of GarageBand. I did this whole album from GarageBand, the whole thing. What happened? My MacBook crashed. Well, not crashed. It stopped powering up. It was went boot. So, and it was crazy because I got to get that done because I got a lot of projects on there on the hard drive that I want back. Like I got projects that I did on there from an artist that I managed, Cabana Black, about 5 years ago, and I did this whole album. We did recorded a lot of his album, and that album was actually nominated for Veer Music Awards Album of the Year. So that stuff, like I got that stuff up there and some unreleased stuff, it's on there. So I need that off there. So I did it off, and it was all iPad, by the way. It's all this iPad and using the Focusrite 2i is what I produced this whole album off of.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole thing. I got that, and I think you guys seen the MPK, the black and white joint that I got the little saying there. Yeah, so all that was done off there, and I tied into like my bigger voice and stuff like that. The Cali LP6s monitors, but yeah, I just kept it real tight and did it there, and I like it came out pretty good. True. So yeah, that's my joint, man.
Shawn, to take it to another one of the Hot Seed podcast topics that y'all talk about. What are some of the games you're playing right now? What are you unwinding with these days?
Man, look, right now, I took a break because I had been waiting for damn near a decade for Cyberpunk 2077. And Dave, the storyteller will tell you, Dave, he'll tell you that I should have waited. I've been waiting. I told them about that game, and it came out, and you guys already know, well publicized, so many issues with it. I was so excited. So I was playing for a little bit, and then I stopped. So like we've been just playing like our sports joint, 2K, Madden, but we don't even play Madden anymore because there's ain't nothing new. Like it's gotten boring. We'll play golf every once in a while. Like I hadn't, to be honest, I haven't playing as much video games since I've been recording and stuff. My son plays Star Wars Fallen Order. So that's what we've been doing right now. Yeah, ain't nothing really intriguing me. Like the game I was looking for, it was just so many issues I couldn't even enjoy it. So there's nothing right now that is really grabbing me, unless, like I said, I'm waiting for, let's see if Madden really come and this next gen, if they give me something that's gonna blow me away. Like I need realism. Like I email EA every year religiously, but like, yo, I need the environment to be better. Like look at what 2K is doing. Like I need that environment when I play football. I love football. I absolutely love football. I will talk football all day to you. I love that game. All the off-season stuff. I need all that in my life. But they keep giving me the same trash shit every year. So I might go back and like buy NCAA 14 and just, have at it.
Not even gonna lie, we are running Madden 2007 off of the PS2 in
Nice.
one of the rooms.
Nice.
Because I was back when Madden was actually the shit.
Who's on that cover?
I think that was Shawn Alexander. I think
That
Wow.
one. Okay.
That's the name I heard in a while. Wow.
Yeah, the
Wow.
tiptoe burglar. One of my least favorite football players of all time.
Oh my god.
That's the thing, because I despised him. Like, I don't know this man as a person, but just as a football fan, I didn't understand how people just didn't tackle him, because he ran like a tiptoe. And when Deion Sanders called him the tiptoe burglar on like NFL Total Access or something, I absolutely lost it. And then the Redskins went out and signed him. I was like, yo.
After losing to him twice.
Yeah, that was the old team. We ain't gonna talk about that team no more.
Yeah.
Now,
And that
we are the football team at this point. Don't just we are the
right.
football team.
It's crazy. The football team has never missed the playoffs.
Yes, they are the football team.
Right.
I want to hear no disrespect. I see you shaking your head, Rich. Rich, no disrespect, bro. No disrespect. None.
What's up next?
What's up? So next, all right. So next we're gonna go a little up on the next one. So I got the Gap next. So I'm gonna set our stage for that. I ain't gonna fuck this one up. I'll tell you that right now. I love this song, and you know what's crazy? I freestyled this song. I didn't write it. Like, I did it right on the spot. I created the beat, and this is one of those beats to where, to what Superfly was saying, when I was creating this one, I was like, oh, we got something here. Like, actually, I believe I might have played this when you was at my other crib, Kaleo. I think. I'm pretty sure.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. So give me a quick second. I'm gonna set the mood, and we're going with the Gap next, fellas. Yeah. Right. So if you got speakers, folks, or you can turn your TV up and you don't mind waking your kids up and you want to dance a little bit, or whatever we do, you got a drink or illegal substance or legal substance, whatever you do. I'm gonna take you back to my.
You freeze? Fellas, can y'all hear me still?
Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Seoul, Korea.
Gotcha.
Oh.
1 second.
While we wait for Shawn, next week we do pick up our Black Business Series again. We have Vaughn from Locked Out and Locked In, Key Repair. So Vaughn will be in next week. Yeah, first. I think that's the first series of 2021, because last week was we had Jerome Baker III on. So, Shawn, you ready?
Yeah, we ready to go. We ready to rock and roll. Let's go.
Exit left, because this just got weird. Definitely isn't according to plan. This isn't according to plan. Shawn Xavien.
Man, I've been waiting so long. Right time, right place, never felt so wrong. Empire fight, can't kill King Kong. Got nothing on me, might be so long. Until the end of the next song. Can't watch my tone. That shit I'm on. Let's get up. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Look him in the eye, top down and wave. Look him in the eye, top down and wave. Look him in the eye, top down and wave. And wave. 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 And wave. Look him in the eye, top down and wave. And wave. Kill, feel, copper, feel. Didn't really do it, nah, nigga, that's real. Part of my spills, just here for the thrills. Average Joe, light skin, got skills. Pass the joke, I'll get it. Mind if I don't get it. Avert your eyes, yeah, come with it. Avert your eyes, come with it. Avert your eyes, yeah, come with it. So all live, yeah, come get it. Come get it. Yeah. So all live, come get it, yeah.
I'm not sure what's really going on here, but I'm more than certain that he's lost his mind. He's lost his absolute freaking mind.
Yeah.
And for the record, it's David Copperfield.
Ain't no wrong, have a little bit of fun.
Copperfield. Who am I kidding? Who cares?
Yeah. Turn the beat up. Turn the beat up.
Turn the beat up.
Look him in the eye, top down and wave. Look him in the eye, top down and wave. Yeah. It's the Gap.
And wave.
Shawn Xavien.
Wave. Here's the question. Wave. What part of VA are you from?
757.
Because if this is it,
Yeah.
I'll be damned. Turn the beat up.
Yeah. Look him in the eye, hands in the sky, we do it all night, we do it all night, Look him in the eye, top down and wave. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite joints off the project. Just the energy for that one. Yeah, it's just and I listened to your podcast, and I believe you told Dave that it was all freestyle, right?
It was. So yeah, it was. I freestyled it. I did the beat, and I really had to get in the zone because it took a lot of energy, man. Like it's techno. Going to techno clubs when I was young, back when they were selling bottles of water for like $7. Like, and it wasn't even Aquafina. It was just some water. Here's a good DJ story for Superfly. So this goes back. I was overseas. I was in Korea again. I did a lot of stuff in Korea. I ain't gonna lie to you. So they had this one hip hop club everybody went to. It was always packed. We went in there. So we went to this other joint. They had good drinks. They had like this little DJ setup. It was like a Newmark. I forget the name. It was like a Newmark little digital joint back then. I ain't know nothing about DJing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I barely knew anything about all the technical stuff I knew now. I was 20 years old by then. So we went in, and one of my good friends, Stinnett, he was like, "Hey man, can he play something on there?" Because they were just playing like a little disc player and just playing stuff. I said, "Yeah, I'll go play some stuff." So I was just doing the mix. I'm pretty sure my mix was trash, but my transitions, I think they were decent. But people started to come in that little club, and they started to pick up, and they was like, "Hey, you can come back." So I was in the military, so we would go out there on Fridays and Saturdays, and I'll just play whatever. That was, when Genuine was popping, and all that was going on. Timberland's joint, all that, that joint was mad crazy. So I was playing that stuff. So I'm playing hometown stuff, and then I got really put on the techno, and I end up getting invited to DJ at this club in Seoul. It was a warehouse party, and it was a phone party. I never been to it in my life. So I'm up in the DJ booth. It's like little Asian girls. They look like they came straight out of Fast and the Furious. Had a little joints on, and I'm drinking, so I'm pretty sure I probably was fucking up that night. But the music was going all night. Come to find out, they had laced the phone with acid. So it was a wild night. So mind you, Monday morning, I'm in my commander's office, and because it got found out that we were down there, he was saying, "Look, I have no problem with you guys enjoying yourself, but you can't be involved with that, because I think somebody got taken out on a stretcher or something because they had a bad reaction to the acid." But that's why I got introduced, man. We used to go into some shady club. Like, think about the worst movie you've seen. They always go into like those Russian or those what's the I forget the name of that
Some
those
hangover type stuff.
yeah, bro. And it was like blue light and everything. A bunch of small dudes with
Knocking
the
people
head
on the
cold
bar.
back. Yeah, they all looked. It looked exactly what you think it looked like. And we was in there, me, light skinned black dude, and a short black dude from Texas. But we would be there. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning, and they would buy us drinks, and we was just partying. We the only two in there too, and I came to love it. I'm pretty sure there was some salacious things happening. I saw it from my own eyes. I avoided the black syphilis when I was in there, so I didn't, take part. But yeah. So yeah, I love techno stuff, man. It's just I like it. You just don't stand too close to the speaker because it'll throw your whole heart rhythm off. Facts.
It definitely had a lot of energy. Not
Yeah.
and like I would love to see that off of a virtual performance, like in an actual
Yeah.
like club where you can hear the bass thumping and the speakers loud, and just seeing how people would rock out to that.
Yeah, something in store for that. I got a visual that's actually being worked on right now, and that's gonna be. I have some plans for that. Like, I absolutely love that. So yeah.
Who's gonna lead off on here? I'll take it. I'll take it. So what can we expect on side 2?
Mm. 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 So on side 2, I got a couple of features on it. I got a couple of features on this one. And the reason behind I see in the face, I ain't gonna give it away, Kaleo. I ain't gonna give it away. There's a couple of features, but it's a different vibe. It's a whole different vibe. In my first love gonna show up on side 2, like the Shawn singing Shawn, like singing Shawn, like falsettos and all types of ranges. It happens. It's going in. It's dope, man. It's I like the feel of it. If anybody's wondering, go listen to Gorgeous Mind, the mixtape, and listen to track 8. Slow it down to give you an idea of what you looking forward to on this. It's not gonna be that, but let's let you know what what you're working with when you listen to your boy. Like, I'm using these talents. I'm taking my talents all across this here album.
Shawn, was the plan to basically always have it be like a double feature, or did it just end up metamorph, like, it just came to be that way, like organically it became like, hey, I actually have all of this and it has worked out the way that I wanted it to?
I did a double album because Superfly said he don't like double albums. That's why. you remember that conversation?
Facts.
Yeah.
I have not changed my mind.
So last year, earlier last year, so I did 2 covers, and I did one in the white that you guys see now, and then I did a red one too. And I sent it around different people, and I might have sent it to some of you guys. I'm not even sure. And I was like, hey, which one you like? And they told me, whichever one they like, and that's the one I went with. And at the same time, I had recorded songs as well, but when I tried to put it all together one album, it just didn't flow. Like the hip hop and everything didn't flow well into like the more down tempo stuff, and it was too big of a transition. Like, I didn't want to lose the listener. But then me thinking, I'm like, well, shit, the name of the album is XIX, which is not, it looks like XIX is really just 2 X's with a line between it. That gives you the 2 sides of me. So it really doesn't have a name. Like, it's just the finale. That's why you've heard me say it's just the finale. And you see me like the hashtag be great. Like, I found that greatness in myself. And in that greatness, I found the confidence to do this the way I wanted to do it. So when the other one dropped, the cover is red with a little bit of, detail differences on it. And it's going to set up the whole different vibe of it. So when I made that decision to do 2 sides, CB, to answer your question, that's what happened. I said, you know what? I'm just going to split it because it worked out perfectly. I had already planned to see with the 2 cover art. I was like, oh, okay. All right. There we go.
I forgot to send you this earlier, but you said you were ready anyway.
Yep.
three questions. There's three things. A question we ask everybody when they come to the show.
Yep.
And it's their top three. Top three movies of all time, top three albums of all time.
Yep.
And I remember the night that we did the mashup, and your boys both had Count of Monte Cristo as their number one. Which was, I mean, I started watching it actually today, so I got to finish it. But so far, so good. So let's start with your movies, because movies are always easier to get through than albums we can pick apart.
Yep. The top three. The third one, it's not pretty any particular order, but I'll just say my favorite film of all time is The Last Dragon. That's my favorite film of all time. Then my other film is, of course, the 1989 Tim Burton Batman.
Oh yeah, Michael Keaton.
And then it's like a 3A and 3B because these two films I love. One of them is The Dark Knight. I'm a Batman geek, but my third film is Blazing Saddles. Absolutely, my dad put me onto that film. I loved, man. Listen, that film will not. Right? That film will not survive today. Will not at all. Like that will not. No, Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor wrote that film, and yeah, that was even from the opening scene. Ain't none of that going down. Not today, brother. Everybody getting canceled. Everybody.
Especially when the sheriff come riding into town.
Yeah. I get her. He said, "What's that?" I get a kick from it, but mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me why should it be true that I get a belt out of you? Some get a kick from cocaine. that's my shit, bro.
Yeah, that's it won't pass any senses today.
Shit, bro.
Okay. We have three different ones. What albums now?
All right, so 3 albums that I absolutely love. In third place is going to be College Dropout. I actually love it. College Dropout is my joint. My second favorite is a Black Album. Jay-Z's Black Album.
Okay.
And
which is supposed to be another finale album, by the way. But go ahead.
Oh man. And then they're tied. They're tied at the top. But I'll just make the 1B is A Night at the Opera, Queen. And my number one favorite album, it's no surprise to anybody who knows me, is B. Common's B is my favorite album ever. I listened to that on repeat. The CD I listened it to so much, I scratched it. Now, fortunately, we streaming it now. So the hot seat been canceled. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Wait a minute. Somebody let me know what's going on.
Oh man. No, that's all albums I can get with. I've heard all those. Especially B was the one that was all Kanye. Which was
Kanye. I think they had some Dilla beats on there too.
Dilla was on there too.
Dilla was on it. Yeah.
And I think you know what's crazy? John Legend did some production on there too.
Oh, he got credit on there?
Yeah.
Wow.
That They Say song, I believe it is. Yeah.
Dope.
That opening bass line is dope.
Did you say Superfly?
Yeah, there's Kanye and then John Legend on the hook.
Yep.
I didn't realize Go was John Mayer. I mean, I know it now, but like at the point I didn't realize.
That's your man.
A-Track on the end of it, killing it. Yeah, still can't do that routine.
Yeah, whatever happened to Bittersweet? When that was one of the lost files with Kanye and John Mayer. But what's that? What was that? The Dropout, Late Registration. That's a dope song. Yeah. John, where can we find you? Plug all your stuff, brother, because you got a lot going on. We got albums, we got podcasts.
It's crazy, right? So, shout out to we're talking about the podcast. Shout out to my brothers, man. Eric, Earl, and Dave, man. They my guys, bro. I appreciate them actually seeing this vision with me, man, to getting that podcast off the ground. They was like ready to go from the jump. I love working with them every week. You can hear us every Thursday on any streaming platform that does podcasts. So Apple, Amazon, Spotify, iHeartMusic, Buzzsprout, Yeah, it's gonna be just drop episode 19 when keeping it real goes wrong. It's I love it, man. I love working with those guys, man. You can find me if you haven't been, you go to senihcirclemusic.com. That's SENIH circlemusic.com. That is my production label website since 2005. I think I was one of the very few back then who everybody had MySpace and stuff like that, at least locally. I went out and I built my first website, and it was all HTML initially. Like I had GoDaddy and this other host site, and all of it I learned HTML in 3 days in order to actually get my site up. And I was just going. And now, it's easy now. You just drag and pull. So senihcirclemusic.com, Shawn Xavien on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know if I'm that interesting of a Twitter follower. I don't tweet as much as other people do, but I find stuff. I tweet about football, and
I've seen that a few times.
Yeah. I get in my feelings. I ain't gonna lie to you. I get in my feelings. And then you can just Google me, man. That's so cool to still, even to this day. You can Google Shawn Xavien, and it pulls up everything about me. Bandcamp, ShawnXavien.bandcamp.com. That's where everything is right there. Bandcamp, they were my first ones get involved with. So they have my whole discography up there. Everything is on there.
Nice. And we can find the album on all streaming platforms, correct?
All streaming. Yep. The album's available everywhere right now. It was distributed by United Masters, which is pretty dope. So you can find it everywhere. So go stream it, share it. Shout out to my brother. If you got Sayon84, that's my little brother, Cedric, man. He's somebody, you asked me what I was doing, Superfly. He's on my list. I've been waiting to produce an album with him for a long time. And he can sing, man. Listen, bruh. We got something special for that. That is, yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
And from here, this is where the show takes a turn a little bit. We have Is It Just E? And for those who are watching, just not familiar with the Is It Just E segment, this is where E Rich is going to give something that's going through his mind, maybe a popular or unpopular opinion. Who knows? It varies from week to week. And also, if you're just joining us and you haven't been throughout the show, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. It'll go a long way. All right, E, what we got?
So I think this is actually going to be a popular opinion this week, right? In keeping in the spirit of the rap community, and the great show that we've had thus far. I'm just going to kick game so we can, go ahead and get this started so I can have Superfly definitely co-sign this. But is it just me? And I know it's not just me because I've talked about this before. But I believe that Silk the Shocker is the worst rapper ever.
Oh, that's facts.
If you see my face and you see CB's reaction, you know that this is a popular opinion. Let me just throw something out there for you. Let me throw something out there. A parking lot with no cars, cell block with no bars, world with no wars, LA with no stars. I'm done. Get it out of here.
Hey, hold up though. Watch this though. Since you're in the West, right? Hey, Blueface is the modern day.
Oh yeah.
Real talk.
I see you ain't go that way, E.
No, see now. Listen, I kept it. You know what? And I should have prefaced it that this is 90s rappers. That's the worst 90s rapper. And listen, the list is actually long because you can there was some cats that came out that you was like, why, how,
yeah,
who your cousin that lets you get up in the studio, or whatever. But I every time, and I was a huge No Limit fan, right? That lineup was crazy until Silk started rapping. I just wanted to turn the song off. His energy. Think about this. You had Mystical. You can even have Fiend on the track, and then Silk would get on there, and you just be like, "Oh."
Mia X had bars.
Right.
Silk just couldn't find no pocket.
There was he
found a pocket. He just had a hole in it. That's all it was. He just had a hole in the pocket. That's all.
Look, man, that cat should have just stayed playing basketball. And I'm not trying to downside because look, I'm not a rapper, so I'm not saying that to whatever. But I'm just saying he was the one guy that definitely would bring down a feature, and it'd be a dope ass beat. Everybody be on their A game, and then he would just have a verse, and you would just be like, all right, I'm done.
You feel like he was just tall for no reason. Like he'd be the guy that you ask him for random shit. Like, can you get this off the top shelf? That was like this what he was good at. He was just randomly tall. Like, why are you tall? You ain't playing ball and you rap horribly. Unnecessary traits. I don't like it.
Wasted height. I can't stand for that.
When you first went into that, I mean, another person popped in my mind when you said worst rapper of all time. I mean, hell, let's just be honest. Anything that's out now, for the most part, rap wise, that's under 30, probably trash. But the first thing that stood out in my mind was this line: "Papa Molly, I'm sweating. Woo! Nigga.
Was big.
Trinidad James." It's a big song.
That song was humongous.
Huge,
It was.
but my God,
He's still getting royalty checks off of that.
He
joint.
really is,
Right.
bro.
But
Like,
you gotta, yeah. But I mean,
It had a pocket too. It was on beat.
Right. See that, but that's the thing. Silk never had a pocket solo. Even like I said, the whole entire lineup of No Limit. I mean, you talking about even the R&B Sons of Funk, and that's to show you how dope of I was a true No Limit fan. Sons of Funk, they were better than him, and they really only had like 2 cuts that everybody knows to this day. But still, Silk, yeah, he's garbage, man. He's garbage. Like there's no way that should be allowed, and because he's related to P, right? That was just like that thing. Because how you gonna put him on a track with Mystical and anybody else, which is bringing that heat, and it's just like, dang.
I don't understand why nobody ain't right for him.
Right.
Rap it like this. Right.
I honestly had forgotten all about Silk. Like literally, he was not anywhere, top of mind at all when it came to thinking about hip hop right now. Like, I mean, I guess that just goes to show, like maybe he's why No Limit isn't, a presence anymore. He was like, the downturn for that. Who knows?
Shout out to their graphic artists though. Like their cover art was always dope though. Like it was so dope, man. Like I want a tank. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just want a tank for no damn reason. Like I'll just ride through 95 on a tank and that's all I want. You know what I'm saying?
And they put an album out like every week.
Yeah.
That's how they got hot.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they're
that work rate was crazy.
Yeah.
Right, but you got look at their lineup though. Their lineup at that time was big enough to put out an album every week. Even Mia X was still harder than Silk the Shocker, and that's not even a slight diss because she really can go. Like she really was like that. But nah, man, you talk about Fiend. When they came out with TRU, some of the hardest beats came off of that, and Silk would kill to this day. Oh my God, to this day, I can't listen to that whole album without getting frustrated and mad because he's on some songs that I just be like, I want to stop the song when it's time for him to start rapping. I'm done. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Real quick, No Limit of Cash Money.
Cash Money.
No Limit back when it went in the early, like Ice Cream Man was at 93. No Limit.
Do you count Young Money and Cash Money?
I mean, you can.
Well, I mean, I stopped. Yeah, the original Cash Money, all that extra stuff was in the way.
Yeah, if you're going off Cash Money, I mean, Cash Money. They're Hot Boys. I mean, all that. Before it even evolved to Young Money, that lineup, I thought.
Yeah,
I think that lineup.
No Limit popped first, right? Like they popped first in New Orleans and everything. And that kind of, I don't want to say it opened the door necessarily, but what Master P was doing was kind of revolutionary at the time. And, that's kind of enabled what Slim and Baby were able to do.
Yeah, they came from Manny Fresh kind of he pretty much pushed Cash Money into the forefront, from his joint there. So yeah, all I know is the Fruit of the Loom stock back in the day when they had the Hot Boys, that shit went way up. That's how I was like, dang, they always got nothing but white beaters on, or whatever they call them now. I don't know.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at this real quick. And now, this is the portion where we just transition everything to shoes, because that's what we like to do. We're sneakerheads, and there's always a shoe to talk about. There's always a shoe to show. So yeah, let's start with the cop. Hold on, for the copy drop. I just do it for the karate chop. It's the karate chop for me.
Ever since CB said that, I gotta watch it now until the karate chop.
Right. So let's go ahead and cop it or drop it.
Yep. So we're starting off the year with the copper drop real bright. Got these Foamposite Pros in a Volt colorway, dropping at the end of the month. I think most people, especially if you're familiar with the DMV, you're very familiar with this silhouette right here. This is as far as the silhouette goes. This is iconic, at least as far as the DC area goes. These joints are crazy. The colorway obviously is super bright. It's basically all Volt. The thing that always got me about foams was how, even back in the day, how expensive they were, just like with their retail price, because these joints are going for like $230 retail. But I will not be surprised if they sell out. So, I love foams, but they don't really work in my my style and stuff. So I wouldn't be copying them to wear them. But these would be a potential flip for me if it was something that I felt so strongly about.
Yeah, I'm copping all day. Foam's heavily in a DC thing, but that colorway. I mean, we that Volt colorway. Ever since it kind of popped on the scene with things, we played for a football team. Our colorway was like Volt and black, like the two of the dopest things you could pair together. But these are a re-release, right? Because then they come out years ago with a kind of a Voltish colorway.
It's very similar to one of the OG. It was called Voltage, I think, was the original colorway. So it's not an exact replica of it, but it definitely has that in its DNA for sure.
All right. E?
These are a cop and flip to anybody in the DMV area to get off my hands for. It's definitely some extra bucks. I think because I got the Volt 5s that I gotta leave it at that silhouette compared to these. And again, I don't know how many years later, I'm still trying to break in my damn Foamposites, the Army fatigue joint. So I'm a good.
Yeah, it's a drop for me. I'm not that's too much Volt. I like the revert, like the Paranormans or something like that. Like that would be more my vibe. I never really owned any Foamposites though. I wear 14, so them joints would look crazy if I cop them. So
walking around with like two armored vehicles on your feet.
Right. In black, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but them joints in Volt and a 14 would be crazy. So I gotta drop it.
Right.
gonna tell you right now, just off the strength that I'm light skinned, I can't wear those, bro. I can't. I'm already bright as shit as it is. Can you imagine seeing me in that right there? I'm gonna get beat up, and I'm 40 years old for that. No, I can't. No, it's just that. Like, and I've liked some bright colors, but like that there now. To do it in a golf shoe, I don't know, because I play golf, you know. But nah,
It'd be dope if they gave him like the tennis ball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kinda
Yeah.
fell into it. That'd be kind of cool, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, it's gonna disappoint our people now.
Don't encourage.
All right. Okay. So we got the foot of soul. Shawn, since you are the guest of honor, you want to go first? You want to go last?
I'll go first. It's cool. He's cool.
Okay.
I go. Ain't no point in going last because I'm not competing against nothing that CV has. So I'm gonna get mine out the way and call it. I know y'all well enough to know I'm not. What? Hell no. So what we got what we got. Puma's out right here. The Ignite Flash Evo knits. I got them in multiple colorways. Actually, on episode 32, I wore like the Easter egg ones. So these ones, if you can see them, green joints. I only wore them a couple of times. They're very, very comfortable, very lightweight. They're really good trainer shoe, a big gym guy there. Mm-hmm. So it's not something you would wear every day, but like if you do a lot of squatting and stuff like that, there's not a bunch of arch support, which if you squatting, and CB knows this, you want something that's closest to the floor as possible, flat foot guy. So I'm not flat foot, but I like how light they are, and they're that almost that army green color, which I'm an army guy. So yeah, I got these in a few colors. So yeah.
Dope. Okay.
Not busting out anything too crazy.
Boy, here we go.
Nothing too crazy. But these, I want to say these dropped on sneakers, and I didn't get them, but then they restocked. Shout out to Soul Links, and so had this silhouette on, the show so many times, and will continue to have it on here forever and ever. But we got another Air Max 1. These are the Mystic Date Air Max 1s. These are the premium joints, so they're leather, so that means they got the mini swoosh on there, which I'm all about that. The color is dope because it's kind of like a maroon, kind of like a dark, like brown purple type color.
It looks like a plum color.
Kind of like it's got some of those vibes to it, and y'all know me, I love the Air Max 1, so can't go wrong. Was happy I was able to get these on the rebound because definitely missed out on them the first time around. So glad to have these in hand.
Yeah, we seen you flexing on the gram. You had like all the flavors out there,
right? Yeah, he was like, I still ain't got nothing to wear. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. Tell them what I sent you.
Yeah. Because I don't want to, not do.
I'll go while you try to find it.
There you go.
All right. So speaking of Soul Links, we this is a pair I missed in 2020, but 2021 started off pretty good, and I just love this series. I love the Human Maids, Nego and Pharrell. It's a green colorway. It comes with just one set of laces, nothing crazy, but it's got the boost. But yeah, that if you look at that, how high that the ankle tab, the tab is on the back.
Yeah.
Heart, and then nothing special. It wouldn't stand out if you saw this. You'd be like, when people say it's an ugly shoe, the color's off. That's ugly, but again, it's I love the collection. This is just one of the plainer colorways. They have a crazier colorway. A couple of them out that we did, but the whole Nego and Pharrell Human Made collab is just dope.
Yeah,
did you find it?
Yeah. You're like, either you have an Air Max 1 problem or you have 5 Asians over there that think just like you. And it's funny because I only have 2 Asians over here that think just like me. But one of them, me and him do share a shoe size. So it makes it easier.
And, right. Let me set it up because the picture was of 5 shoes at like a doorway.
Right.
And anybody like in an Asian household or a Pacific Islander household, all the shoes are left at the door.
One of my favorite jokes had to do with like people like, yo, Asian house, like is that like a type of music? Is that like techno? And I was like, nah, dog, that means you got to take your shoes off when you come in.
Oh my god.
No shoes in the house.
No, that shit's real in the Asian household,
Let's go.
Wow.
All right.
Something a little light. I remember I copped these, and Cleo was upset that I got them. And I don't
hate to see other people out there living his dream.
I don't know. I don't know if you ever copped them. So old school. They were retro.
Oh, oh man, the card.
Oh wow.
Ish.
I'm going with the 15th.
Yeah, that whole rollout of that 15 was dope. With the Mary J. Blige overjoyed in the commercial, Mike in the Rain. I remember that. Yeah, that was a dope shoe.
I had the copper pairs. I remember. I think I was at Morgan when they did when they retroed them, and I went up to the I think it was White Marsh Mall, thinking it was gonna be a line outside, and and I was like, all right, cool. This is when you were still copping the shoes and like getting a pair of shorts and maybe a shirt that goes with it that they came out with that whole line. So
real quick, we got these. These are sent in by the storyteller. These are his son's shoes. They are the Nike Benzie casual boots. These joints.
Shout out to Cameron.
Yeah, them joints. I had never seen them until he sent these to me, and I did some research on them. These things are dope. Like, look at I didn't get a good picture of the sole, but it's got like kind of
it's that
the moon rock sole. Yeah,
my nephew got good taste. I like it.
Yeah, them joints are hit. So, as we get ready to part ways for the week, I want to thank Mr. Shawn Xavien for joining us for our concert series.
Appreciate you.
And if you haven't listened to the album yet or any of his projects, again, they're on all streaming platforms. Tell them again one more time where we can find your project, Shawn.
You can find it everywhere from Apple to Tidal to Amazon Music to Spotify, on Bandcamp, ShawnXavien.bandcamp.com. And if you can't remember none of that, just Google Shawn, SHAWN, Xavien, XAVIEN, and it'll pull up me and just select whatever you're interested in.
No. We're not gonna just let you leave like that. Because they're off this new project. Again, for those who haven't seen, there's that's the cover right there, pretty dope. There's a special track on there that's near and dear to my heart. I heard a storyteller talking about it on last week's episode. I know The Beautiful was his, and he gave the next one, kind of a runners up. And I understand, it's preferential. So now I get to tell my side of the story. And the reason why we went, the title of the show is Another Time. So the last track on the album is called Another Time. I don't know how long it took you to write it. All I know is Shawn, we and him were talking, and he was telling me that he was ready to ride off into the sunset. This was it. And so I had already been working on some things, and I was in a groove, in a pocket of things I was working on. And first thing I thought was, you know what? Yeah, I feel like Pharrell and Fade to Black is like, there's no way you're gonna call this the final album. I'm not gonna get my shit off.
That's exactly what he said too. That's exactly what
he said. I love that movie. I love Pharrell.
That's exactly what he said. In the text, you go back and read the text.
And so I was like, I just picture you riding off into the sunset, with top down, sun's getting ready to fade, maybe through the desert or something like that. And this is what's playing. So, go ahead, Shawn.
Yep. So you gave me that. So, like, if you didn't already know, if you can catch my vibe, I love golf. So I heard this and I just pictured not quite riding off to the sunset. I imagine myself in a golf cart just riding up and down like the golf on the golf cart track, and it's really just vibing out. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna pull my best. I don't know if you guys remember a few years, well, in his earlier stages, Drake was on, I forgot whatever show, and he was rapping there. He had pulled out his BlackBerry. He ran through, right? So I ain't no BlackBerry. I got an iPhone, but I want to make sure that I do this track justice. I ain't missing no words, nothing like that. It may be frowned upon in the hip hop community, but damn it, I've been doing it for 15 years, and at this point, I feel like I could do what I want. So
there you go.
But I'm gonna do another time, man. I love this. I love this track. I love this track. Everybody who's heard it, like they said, they love this instrument. I fell in love with the instrumental since you sent it to me, and it took me when you sent it to me. I listened to it a couple of times to catch a vibe. It took me about 20 minutes to write it. Dead ass. 20 minutes to write it, and then I went and recorded it, and I recorded it all in one take. So on the track, it's not even a breakup in the thing. I recorded the verse, then the hook, then the verse, all on one sweeping track. That was it. So, yep, I just had to double up on the chorus, but whatever. But yeah, this is it. I appreciate you guys, man. This is another time off the album. It's the finale, man. It's the finale. So let's go. Produced by Kaleo. Yeah. Shawn Xavien. So I had to go out my own way. So, yeah. Yeah. The truest story been told. Trade the mic for a 918 on the go. Monte Cristo in the right, FJ on my soul. Hit the greens like his Christmas wrapped in holiday blow. Johnny Depp, if you know. Underrated, celebrated since the opening go. Dedicated, animated, dirty socks on the floor. From the gardens I was destined to grow. Raise them up for the homies who got left in the dough. My suit and ties used to put on the show. Last dragon, I was finding my glow. They asked me, how did you know? I found it lost in my flow. When it pad to a beat by Kaleo. I just want to be me. I paid a lot for a space that's free. So I'll see you another time. Yeah, another time. I just want to be me. I paid a lot for a space that's free. So I'll see you another time. Yeah, another time. Yeah, I'm still breaking the mold. Light skinned boy wonder, that's my heart and my soul. Two-stepping in the future since the back then got old. Glory that I fall and I fold. From what I've been told, life is simple like the beauty and bold. Turn the corner on a draw, then it rolls to a fairway, flag in the back. Anticipating the air raid, sailing to the left. The next shot's the best play. Yeah, I've enjoyed the ride. Every 15 years. I just want to be me. Yeah. I paid a lot for a space that's free. So I'll see you another time. Yeah, another time. This is the end of side 1. Side 2 is coming in February.